Lake Michigan, the second largest Great Lake by volume, with just less than 1,180 cubic miles of water, is the only Great Lake entirely within the United States. Approximately 118 miles wide and 307 miles long, Lake Michigan has more than 1,600 miles of shoreline. On any given day, any given angler might choose to pursue any number of a variety of fish on Lake Michigan. But for North American fisherman Dan Larson, two fish hold special interest. One for its renowned athleticism, another for its reputation as outstanding table fare. Dan has hooked up with longtime Lake Michigan charter captain Scott Gutschow for a two-day trip that will hopefully be highlighted by some outstanding smallmouth fishing and punctuated by a cooler full of drag-screaming, line-stretching king salmon.
I'll fish that anchor out. Okay. Hold your foot for just a second.
It's mid-June. The smallmouth spawn is wrapping up. Big, aggressive fish are tending to their beds in shallow water. A stealthy sight fisherman has a good chance of fighting a dozen or so smallies in a day this time of year. Dan and Scott begin their day fishing a shoreline not far from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin.
That white tube's a ticket, isn't it?
You bet.
And spin around.
There we go, we got it.
All right, nicely done. Nice fish, Scott. That's a good bass. Nice fish.
Oh yeah. Coming right towards deep water. You see how she tried to turn out and come out of here? Yeah. Right underneath the boat. Whoa.
We got that anchor rope over here.
Yeah,
too.
I know. Trying to keep her out of there. Oh.
Boy, what a bass. Nice fish.
Wow. There we go.
Pretty fish.
What do you think, huh?
Great fish.
Yeah, nice healthy smallmouth.
Day in and day out, if I had to pick one fish to fish for, it'd be smallies.
Yeah,
I love them.
They are a riot. You know, you can see right from our vantage point here, we've got probably a dozen beds in here. Yeah. Now, not all of them have fish on them anymore, because again, we're right in that transition, you know, but we got to pick out the ones that got good bigger fish on there. Some of them got some bucks on them right now. We'll just avoid those beds.
Well, that's the luxury of sight fishing. You can pick the fish you want. You can avoid the small ones and just go for those big mongos.
It was neat, you know, this fish, you know, 3 casts and bang, you know, where sometimes you have to put in 15 minutes, half hour,
you never know.
Yep.
Well, I'm up.
All right, let's do it.
The idea is getting the fish agitated, not getting them to feed. Bass will instinctively clear any debris, critter, or other fish from their nests. The trick for Dan and Scott will be getting into position as carefully as possible.
We just went over. That was a beauty.
Placing accurate casts. Using just the right presentation, and being quick on the hook set when that bright white tube is picked up by an unsettled smallmouth.
Oh, I had it and I missed it.
I think you got it. Oh, you had it.
It's an intense game of wits, and the odds are on the fish.
Looks like a pretty good one right here, Scott.
Okay. Definitely staying tight to the bed, huh, Dan? You know, I think the mistake a person makes at times too will just to fan cast this and just reel and fan cast. And what I think you need to do is really concentrate on
pick one fish.
It's kind of like piece of territory, you know.
Kind of like duck hunting. You don't want to flock shoot, you know.
Right.
Kind of on the periphery there. I don't know if it'll. She's looking at it. There it is.
All right.
It didn't take long.
No.
Nice fish.
All right.
How cool is that? I just love this. Nice fish.
Another nice fish.
Nice, great fish. Wow. This one's got a unique black spot on the side. I don't know if he's done yet, or she's done yet.
There you go. Good work.
Oh, that spot's pretty unique. I haven't seen a lot of fish like it.
On the tail.
On the tail.
Look at that.
I didn't see that at first.
Anything on his other side, or?
Yeah,
And
couple little ones there. That's wild looking.
Nice 3.5 pound fish, you know.
Great bass. There she goes.
There you go. Very good.
Any fisherman that tangles with spawning fish has a responsibility to fight and release the fish as quickly as possible. Handle the fish very carefully and release them close to their bed, thus minimizing the impact of angling pressure on the success of the spawn.
I'll tell you what, Dan, you know, 4:30 is going to come pretty early tomorrow morning, and we want to get a good start on those salmon and steelhead.
You salmon and steelhead guys get up at ungodly hours. But I'm looking forward to it. This is such a great fishery, and might as well experience a little bit of everything.
While fishing for smallmouth bass near
Oh, nice.
He didn't mess around, did he? Oh.
Lake Michigan's charter captain Scott Gutschow has put North American fisherman's Dan Larson on a good number of smallies in just one day. After a short night's sleep, the pair are up at 4 a.m. and on the water by 4:30. The king salmon bite is best before the sun gets more than a few degrees above the horizon.
I've been doing this 10 years now, and it's still a lot of fun. I mean, each day is a new group of clients and a new face, and we get to show them some of the, what I think is some of the best fishing in the Midwest. Premier king salmon fishing, fantastic smallmouth fishing, walleye fishing, and it keeps it new for me as well, because I get to go bayside, I get to go lakeside, and I'm not just doing the same thing day in and day out.
Today, Dan and Scott are headed out on a Ranger 620. Instead of downrigging to reach the deepwater suspended kings, they'll run wire lines into dipsy divers to get bait in front of the fish. Half a dozen rods are set and singing in the current within 5 minutes of arriving on the spot. When salmon fishing is good, there is nothing better.
Here you go, Dan.
Thank you,
Streaming
sir.
line. First fish of the morning, Dan.
All right.
All right, Dan.
Up on top. A few clouds might help our morning bite here, huh?
What I'm going to do is pop it in neutral.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is just always kind of feel underneath your feet whether or not that boat's slowing down.
Guy, you can just feel those big head shakes out there.
That looks good.
Definitely feel everything with that wire line, don't you?
As he starts to tire a little bit, then you kind of work him up a little higher. You can actually kind of work him almost straight up and then down, but not when he's doing that.
Okay.
Yep, just let him go.
Big head shake.
Good. He's got some head shakes, that's for sure. It's amazing in June when this water temperature is cold how much spunk those fish have.
Yeah.
July, August, the water gets a little warmer, the fish are bigger. The fight's about the same, but boy, these spunky cold water fish really got some get up and go. Fish on, fish on!
This will be interesting.
Wow.
Gotta love it.
Look at him scream. Wow.
So who's gonna drive the boat now? And what about netting this fish?
Boy.
This one's getting close.
I'm gonna loosen my drag to go ahead and let this fish run. And then what I'm gonna have you do is get that fish right down the center.
Okay.
You wanna get that dipsy diver right to the rod tip.
Okay.
Kind of hold your fish up, and when you feel as though you got a handle on him, you can keep his head up. I'm gonna drop this in the holder. Fish on,
Another
fish on!
fish. I'm gonna come under you.
When it's good, it's good! Oh, you're doing good, you're doing good. These fish...
I may have to net my own fish, it looks like.
I'll tell you what, Dan. These are both our big fish.
Let me see if I can get the net here.
Wow, this one's just not stopping. I can put this other one in the holder, Dan. Hang on, Dan.
Okay.
All right,
One
there
down.
you go.
Hi, big fish. There. You loosen the drag on this
I
guy?
went to neutral. I got this one past the backing already, Dan. Not real often that we go right through the backing.
3 gets to be a little tricky with 2 guys.
I'm gonna feel a lot better when I get the wire spool back on this spool. Rod tip high, lift it right up. Oh, nice king. Woo-hoo! Putting the pressure on me here?
Yeah. Show me how it's done.
There he goes.
Sweet music. See color. There we
Nice.
go. Nicely done,
Nice
sir.
job. Wow, look at the size of that king.
Lake Michigan jewels here. Boy, this purple and green sheen.
Yeah, you get a little
gorgeous.
color on them. Unreal.
Beautiful.
The salmon fishery on Lake Michigan is 100% renewable. Every king in the lake has been stocked by the bordering states. Any sizable fish that makes it into the boat is readily accepted as a future meal.